Hi. Hello. Anybody here yet? No. I have to go blow my nose. Excuse me. Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. Hello. Oh, uh, let me see. Oh. Hold on. Here I come. Oh. Oh, phooey. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Hi, everybody. Wilma, are you back? Jerry, how are you? How are you doing? Hola. I don't know. I'm looking for my marker and I can't find it. I'll be right back. Oh, marker. I shall return. I hope. Oh no. Oh no. No. I'm back. Oh, dear God help me. Okay, no. Okay. Perfect. Hi. Hi. Hi, everybody. Hi, Litzy. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Wilma. Anybody here named Mark? Because it's your feast day today. Today's a feast of Saint Mark. Oy vey. Oh, here it is. Aha, I found it. Okay, today's the feast of Saint Mark. Okay, so good for you, Saint Mark. Marks, all the marks. You heard that joke, no? About what? Who is this? When they go, Mark. You heard the joke. So today's a feast of Saint Mark. So Mark. It's a dog with a lisp. Mark. Okay, well that went over like a lead balloon. So yes. So let me see. Oh dear. Excuse me. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Lordy. Hmm. So how's everybody doing? Hi, Evies. Hi, everyone. Hi, Litzy. Hi. Put your name right here. Name right here. If you're on YouTube, and if you're here, you're already putting your name down anyway. So I just came back from giving the last rites to. Hi, Linda. How are the kids? I just gave the last rites to to a lady, of course, who was passing away, and it was emotional, and all those things are when somebody's like at the throes of death, and it was hi, Linda, saying hi. Yeah, it was sad. Even if she was pretty old, it's still sad. Um, so anyway, it was nice that they called me. They came all the way over here to call me. They rang the doorbell, and then they said, "Father, can you come?" And I said, "Sure. I'm going to go over." And he says, "Well, when can you be there?" And I go, "Well, I'm going right now." He goes, they were shocked because it was like the priest is moving fast. I guess they don't realize that we do things as best as we can and as soon as we can. And so that for us, that's the most important thing, to help someone transition into their real life, the life that they're going to live for all eternity, not just for 10, 15, 20, 90 years, 100 years here, but the real life that we're going to live. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay, so today we have lots of stuff to go through, and remember I told you that you are supposed to make up some, well, don't make up questions, but ask me anything you want on any subject that I might know, especially something about our faith, something about the church, something about morality, something about accepting everyone, no matter if they're white or green or purple or black or brown or if they're this type of person, that type of person, this type of sexuality, that type of sexuality. And ask me anything, and I will try to answer them in a nice Christian way. Okay. But you have to ask me because somebody asked me a neat question in the other Spanish section of this program, which is from 2 to 3. And it was a good question. They wanted to know why deacons can marry or are married before they become deacons, and after they become deacons they're not married. And I told them I don't know. It's just a tradition. Like, for instance, for priests like me, I think they should allow priests to be married. And the reason is because there's a lot of priests that I know, and one of them was a principal of our school who left the church, got married, got permission though. He did it with permission. He was what we call laicized, and then he got married. But you're always a priest. Once a priest, always a priest. Okay? So the only thing they can't do is they can't like celebrate mass in public and all that stuff, and or private, and they can't do the sacraments, and but yes, they can. If, for instance, all the priests were done away with in the entire universe, and there was only one man, and he was already married, he had left the priest, he could celebrate Mass again because there's nobody else. What if somebody's dying? Well, God gives them his powers back. Powers are pretty strong. Okay, they're real things, realities. And so he can actually hear somebody's confession. Confession. Although the person has, you can say he's got perfect contrition, he'll go to heaven. Okay, like you do now, like you're doing now. Oh, I want to go to confession with a priest. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I have a mortal sin. I'm going to go to hell. No, you're not. Number one, you're always confessing to God. And, well, you're also confessing sometimes to a priest. But that doesn't mean the priest is giving you absolution as far as forgiving your sins. Nobody can forgive your sins except guess who? God. Okay? It's the only one. That's it. You can forgive each other for all this other stuff. I forgive you what you did to me. That's fine. But to say you just say this wiped out, and then when you get to heaven and you say, God, remember I did all these bad things, is going to go, what are you talking about? Ooh, you are really nice, God. You forgot all those things. Yeah, I don't keep those things in mind. You said you were sorry. Gone. Okay. It says in the Bible, your sins may be as scarlet, the reddest of the red. Well, almost. They could be as scarlet as blood, but they would become as white as sheep wool. Mamma mia, that's pretty cool. Okay, so no questions yet? No, too bad. And today's what? Hi, Rick. Today's Perla. Today is the weekend. What are you guys doing for the weekend? Oh, funny, Father. That's not funny. It's pretty serious, this thing that's happening now. And I don't know. It's just, you begin to say, where is Sandra? How are you? Sandra, ¿cómo estás? Where is God? Not where is Sandra. Where is God at the time like this? Well, he's in the minds of those scientists that are struggling to find some type of a vaccine. He's struggling with them, in a way of speaking. He's there with all the doctors who are helping all those people, sacrificing their lives. He's here with us. He's there in the bread lines or in the market lines or in the pharmacy lines, or he's there. He's there with us. Okay. We don't get that idea. We don't know how Jesus loves us so much he wants to be there. And he describes it in a passage in the Bible where he says, um, let me see if I can find it for you. Ay, 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 ay. I'm getting too old for this thing. I should retire. I'm already 75 years old. But no, Salesians don't retire. They they um, they die with their little booties on. Okay, let me see if I can find this nice little thing here for you. Okay, let me see. Oh, I'm in math. I'm not too mistake. I saw the math. Okay. Uh-huh. I'm not that fast at finding things, as you can see. I wish I had my concordance. Do you know what a concordance is? If you really want to be cool, sometimes people say, Father, can you find this passage for me? And then I go, yes, I will take this entire Bible and I will read it for you in one day and I'll find that passage for you. And can you imagine before Stephen Langram in the 7th century, there were no numerations on this. There were kind of like he divided them into I think it was chapters or verses. There were no numbers here at all, and there were no chapters or verses. Mhm. And then he did it, but he made a mistake, I think, because when he divided the material, some of it he kind of like you couldn't understand it. Oh, this is chapter one, but it wasn't just chapter one up until chapter two. It was chapter one up until chapter three. Well, the content of it. So sometimes when they made the divisions, it makes things harder to understand. But I mean, it's fantastic because you can say 3:16 John. Everybody knows that. It's the summary of the entire New Testament. Okay, that God gave His Son up for us. Okay, so then I'll tell the person, "Oh, you want to know that? And do you know what book it's in?" No, Father, but I'm sure you know. Yeah, right. Like I read the whole thing. So then you go in there and you go, okay, where is it? Is it in the Old Testament or the New Testament? You don't have to do that. You go to this big, gigantic book, but now you can find it on your computer. Well, now I'll tell you how to do it on the computer. It's even easier. But if you don't know the quote and he's talking about something and you kind of know, well, he's not really quoting it. He's just paraphrasing it. He's just saying something. And how am I going to find it? So he said, do you remember any words of it? And he goes, yeah. Um, it was like, for instance, brotherhood. Okay, well, thanks a lot. That's probably in there like 1,000 times. So you go into your room and then you say, wait here, I'll be back. I'll try to look at the guy's going, this guy's a genius. He's gonna find that little on what I gave him. So you go into your room and you have this big concordance. This is in the old days. The concordance is, you're not gonna believe this. Some bodies went through the whole Bible, not the prepositions or those, like ands, but, its, or nors, not those, but every other word in the Bible, like for instance, man. They went through it. Man, 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 man. Okay, Genesis, man, man. Exodus, man, man. And what they did was they took the word and put it in bold uh, print, and then they put about 2 or 3 words before in that quote, before that word you're looking for, and 2 or 3 words after the quote you're looking for. So it'll say, in the beginning, man was create. See what I'm saying? And so they have it. And they have everything in order like this. Every word of any thing you want to, it's in alphabetical order. In English, of course, they use the English translation. And they have many because there's different translations for the different translations of the Bible. Okay. And so you go in there and you look at the word, oh, that's what he was talking about. And you go back, oh, you can find it in Philippians, the letter of St. Paul, and the kids going, or the man or the lady. Oh my God, the guy's a genius. He knows the Bible backwards and forwards. I don't think so. I just have a concordance. Now it's easier. All you have to do is put down, I just found the quote I wanted from this book, and because I knew it was in the book. So anyway, you know where it says your search line, wherever, just put like 4 or 5 words that you remember from a biblical quote, and it'll take you to it. Not only that, but it's better than the concordance. That book I told you, that's all the one wordy things, because it gives you like plethora, I mean, a lot of articles, and that's just that little verse. Amazing. Okay, let's go to the verse I wanted to find out. Okay, this is what's neat. At the time, we're talking about the times like right now, what's going on with the pandemic. So Jesus says this, okay, this is from Matthew chapter 11, and then I think it's verse 30. Okay, so he says, come to me, all you who are weary and find life burdensome, and I will refresh you. And by now you're going, yeah, right. And then he says, take my yoke upon your shoulders and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble of heart. That he is. Your souls will find rest for my yoke. My yoke is easy and my burden light. Now, if you know what a yoke is, not the egg yolk. Okay. But a yoke was a piece of wood that they would shape in like a flat M. Okay, I'm going to draw it. Okay. Big piece of wood, probably made up from a couple of pieces of wood. Okay. Let's draw it. I hope I can draw. Yes, I can. I took a course at Berkeley Cal because they asked us in theology when I was up there with the Jesuits, and they go, "You may take one course," and everybody goes, "Oh, I'm taking Greek," and I said, "I'm going to take art." What? And I said, "Yeah, because one day I always wanted to be an artist, so I took a course there, and it helped." So, okay, this is a yoke. It's as big, it's huge. Okay, why? Because one part of it has to fit over an ox, an animal of labor, a labor animal, an ox or a mule or something, and then well, an ox better, and then it has another part because see, you need two animals there. Okay, you need two animals so that you can go straight. You can have one, but this or that way. But when you have two animals, it straightens that other beam that you have digging into the ground, and you're what do you call it? I forget, but you're burrowing into the ground. You've seen it in movies. So the neat thing is that he's talking about his yoke and your yoke. So let's pretend you're an animal, and I'll put myself there first. Okay. So okay. Oops, I made a boo boo here. Sorry. Excuse me. I blocked you all out. There we go. Sorry. Okay. Let me get my little board. Ah, there you are, my little board. And I cleaned my room yesterday, and I lost half of my stuff. But anyway, if you know me, you know what I mean. Okay, so here you are. Let me take Jesus that I drew yesterday out. Okay, so this is the yoke. Okay, that's the yoke. That's what it looks like, but it's huge. And then guess who's over here? Well, I'm just gonna do an anonymous Christian. Okay. So I'll make like we're little animals, okay, and we have to pull this thing. And guess who's on the other side? You need two, okay? So you're pushing through life and struggling and trying to make it in life. It's tough. It's like having a big, heavy load. But Jesus is saying, you know what? You know why my yoke is easy? Oh, but it's not easy. Yes, it is. Because on the other side, that other animal that's struggling with you is me. So that's what he's saying. That there's Jesus and there's you, and both of you are you pushing as hard as you can. And he's doing with that every individual that ever existed, whether he's Christian, Muslim, whether he's straight or not, whatever. He loves everybody. And he doesn't, oh, I'm going to punish you because you're doing this or that. No, that's not him. Yes, there are punishments, but usually they're because we don't sometimes want to be human. Sorry. I want to, okay, there we go. Why am I wearing this when people in Los Angeles are suffocating with the heat? Because as the famous author who wrote Huckleberry Finn stories and things like that, and Tom Sawyer, he said, The coldest winter he ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. So there. Oh, Bruce Anderson. Boy, I haven't seen you for a long time. Hi, Martha. Hi, Yakita. How are you? So anyway, that's the. I got excited because you see these new people I haven't seen for a long time. Hi, Bruce. Okay. Did you like the joke I told you yesterday? Did you like that joke? I hope you did. How many of you heard the joke I said yesterday? Just say yes or no. You can write it down if you like. I like to repeat it. Did I repeat it already? I don't remember. Yeah, I think I did. I think I did. No, I didn't. I did. Well, you didn't hear. How many of you were not here yesterday? Well, okay, today's Saturday, so I'll tell it to you again. Okay. Um, Einstein. How many of you know who Einstein is? Everybody. He was chosen the man of the century by Time magazine. Wow. Hmm. Okay, so hi, Lorena. So Einstein has an important science conference in the city, and he has his favorite, always next to him, driver, his chauffeur, drives him everywhere. He's had him for years and years and years. But one day, as he's riding with his chauffeur, he says, "You know what? I'm sick of these conferences. I always say the same things over and over." I'm talking to both Facebook and YouTube. He goes, I'm always the same thing over and over and over again. I'm sick of it, says Einstein. And the driver agrees. He goes, you're right. He goes, I attended all, of course, I go with you to all of them, all of your conferences and talks and all that. And even though I don't know anything about science, I could give the conference in your place. Einstein's eyes light up and he goes, that's a great idea. Let's switch places. And he goes, okay. So they switch, and the driver dresses like Einstein, and they go into this dressing room, and then Einstein dresses like chauffeur. He's got the little cap on, so you can't really tell who he is. And so he goes up there, and on the stage, this Einstein lookalike, and he starts giving his usual speech, and of course, the real Einstein's dressed as the car attendant there. So the chauffeur. And so, but in the crowd, there's this one scientist who's always wanted to impress everybody that he knew more than Einstein. Okay. So he says, you know what? I'm gonna ask him a real difficult question, hoping, of course, that Einstein wouldn't be able to answer it. So in the middle of of Einstein's talk, the guy stands up and interrupts it, and everybody goes, because such an important man, you don't do that. And he asked them the question, and everybody's like in dead silence, waiting for the answer. So the driver, who's really thinking that he's Einstein, the driver looks at him and dead in the eye, and he says, "Sir, your question is so easy to answer that I'm going to let my driver reply it for you." Did you like that joke? Was it funny, Maite and Lorena and Allison? Didn't I say this yesterday? I think I did, but I love this joke. This is a very good joke, I think. Anyway, um, and just to make you happier, just another story. I'm sure I told this one before, but it's my favorite joke of all time. Okay. There was a little boy. Oops, I must drink this, please. My mouth. I tell you, I went to that house today in fear and trembling because I don't know this gentleman who came to my door, our priest door, the rectory, and said, "Can you come? My mother's dying." Oh, you don't know what to think, so you don't want to say, "Well, what is she dying of? Is she dying of the?" That's disgusting. So I didn't say anything. I just said, "Sure, I'll come over." Of course, after I put on my gloves, my this and my that, and well, I mean, he knows that why I'm doing all that, because it might be the code. Yeah, that one. So now I'm trying to get something here, and I don't think I'm succeeding very well. Oh, and I even took this. Well, I really didn't, but here. See this? Isn't this cool? I can use it, and yeah, you can fog it up a little bit, but it's not going to fog up a lot. I made this myself, and I'm sure you can do one too. Except I didn't do what they told me to do. You're supposed to attach it to your glasses. And how did I do this? Well, see this bottle? Pretend it's that big, okay? This is a small bottle, but you get a big bottle of soda, and then what you do is you cut off the bottom of the soda and the top of the soda. So you just cut these things out with a nice little razor blade or whatever, an erector blade, and then you've got this. But you don't really have this until you trim it with scissors, so it looks like a rectangle. And then you cut around the corners, you round out the sharp corners, and then you just put it like this. So I had this on, and I had my mask on, and of course he knew that I was a little bit afraid. But he goes, "No, Father, it's just old age." And I said, "Oh no, don't worry, no, who cares?" So then I put on my little mask. Somebody sent me this today in the mail. Thank you. Thank you. Daniel, he's an artist. Daniel is an artist. He even sent me a little card with his he did that. And he also did, I should show you. I have a lot of stuff. Oh dear God, help me. Ouch. Oh, oh. When I say the rosary, I'm looking at this up on the wall. That's why you see me looking up like this. Our Lady of Guadalupe. He did this. Okay. The artist has sent me that. The young man. And if you just turn it this way, you can see that it's got a silvery type of a thing around it. And it's got the quote of the Virgin Mary in Anahuac language or whatever you call it. You can see it like that. See? It's very pretty. And he does this by carving it into a piece of wood. And then it's called, I don't know what it's called. They plaster it, okay? And then it comes out. Well, anyway, his artwork is at the Smithsonian Institute. Whoa. It's our best Americana museum in the United States and in the world. And he's very humble. And other people were asking him to do a different type of art, the one that's not really too Christian sometimes. And he said no. He said, "Oh, but you'll make a lot of money." And he goes, "No, I'm not into that stuff. I'm into the art." Okay. And I'm exaggerating this. Oh, he's on right now. Daniel, stop blushing. Oh, it's called letterpress, but it's gorgeous. And then could you tell me what is in the Institute? I didn't know you were going to be on. Otherwise, I would have said more. No, go ahead. So what did you do? Oh, it was so innovative that somebody saw it and they said, we want it in the new wing of our Institute. So I don't know what you type it down and see. Okay, so anyway, he sent me this. Thank you, Daniel. Okay, so yeah, isn't that nice? Um, did I show you this picture already? I don't know. Since I do it in Spanish, did you see this picture already? Yes. Did I show you this already? Daniel's laughing. Haha. Did I show you this already? Yes or no? Somebody say no, please. Did I? Oh, it's laser cutting. That's what he did. So he laser cut, like those things that are hanging in Mexican parties and Latino parties and all that. They're all cut little pieces like a lace. Well, he did one of those, but it was a new thing. Okay, so there he is. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad I got your masks. Yes. Now I can scare people. Okay, did I show you this already? No. Yes. No. Did I show you this already? Because I get confused doing the Spanish section of this program. Papel picado, that's what it is. Thank you, Daniel. I'll have to say it in Spanish for those that are English speaking only. It's called papel picado. Okay, it's called papel picado. That means cut little papers, but he does it in laser. He said no. Okay, good. See this man right here in the middle? That's Father Mazuero. He looks like a very innocent looking little priest. See that priest right there? That's Father Mazuero, surrounded by children from his school when he was pastor at St. Peter and Paul's Church. You know, if you ever want to see a church that's like, wow, go see our church in San Francisco. It's considered the most photographed church in the world. I don't think so. I think St. Peter's Basilica is, but they say it's been photographed so many times. You've seen it in all these movies and everything. Anytime they show San Francisco, it's this big twin-spired church. And it's called St. Peter's and Paul's. Look it up, Google it, whatever, in San Francisco. It's right close to Pier 39. Well, not that close, but oh, by the way, and I hope that they don't get mad at me. If you're around San Francisco, just park there, and then you can just walk like 50 minutes instead of paying $36 for parking. They're crazy, those people, to get down to the pier. And they'll let you. They'll say, Father Jesse. Don't mention my name. Then they won't let you. So, but they're very nice. The Salesians there. I'm on the other side of town. I'm at Corpus Christi Church, up in the hill, up beyond the Latino sector. Yeah. So this priest, Father Mazuero, is well known all over the place, and he passed away. He's very loud. He'll go, "Hey, Jesse, how are you?" Just like that. I can imitate him. Okay, I'm an actor. Remember that. Not a good one. I'm only a director. That's my master's in theater production. That's what I do. I like doing that. So anyway, he is amazing, really. I'll have to tell you about him. You know, Clint Eastwood liked him. He liked him so much he put him in a movie, Dirty Harry. If you've ever seen it, it's the part where it's at night and it's our church. I'm making a big thing out of it. Huge church, and they lit it up, of course, at night with all these special effects. And then the priest is closing the door, and this murderer is up on one of the rooftops, and he's going to shoot the priest. So Clint Eastwood went up to him, his father. You know what? I want you to be the priest, play the priest. And he goes, "What? Me? I don't." Oh, he was pastor of the church, and so younger, of course, than in that picture. Right there, he's already on a wheelchair. He had a hard time. So um, he, he was in the movie. He's in the movie, Clint Eastwood's movie, and they really got along. And so at the end of the filming, Father went to him and said, "Clint, I want 190 tickets for my kids to go see the movie." He goes, "Father, it's rated R. I don't want any more tickets. Thank you." So, but you know what he used to do when he wasn't pastor anymore and he was retiring, hi, Dora and Kelly, this priest got a truck and he couldn't drive that well anymore. So he had one of our brothers be like his assistant, and he got permission to do that. And he would go to, I'm telling you, every billionaire or millionaire grower or owner of a company like Columbus Meats, you know, all those Italian sausage places. And he would go in there, and they knew him, especially around Little Italy. But they also knew him down in Watsonville. And you know, there are 4 or 5 people that own all of the artichokes in the Watsonville area and Castroville area, especially Castroville. And he knew them. I mean, close friends of all these very wealthy people. But he was always for the poor. So he used to go to all these people. And in LA, he would go to the markets, you know, those down in LA, they have the food distribution places. He'd go there, and they knew him because he was really loud. "Hey, I'm here. Give me that, then give me that." And you know, they felt that he was such a nice guy. They gave him a lot of stuff. I mean, he would load those trucks, well, the truck at one point, a truck with a brother, and they would load him up with food, and he'd go up and down the coast, feeding orphanages, feeding the Little Sisters of the Poor, feeding us with vegetables and this and that and everything, and artichokes and all that. He'd give a little here, a little there, and then he'd also pick up, because the Little Sisters of the Poor, they had lots of ice cream, loads and loads of ice cream. So they would give him ice cream. He would give him food. Well, he was pretty adamant that they give him food, so they knew it. They knew they had it ready. But one day, one of the big growers in Watsonville, they had these big boxes, these big crates of vegetables and fruit and all that. And he goes, "Gee, Father, today we don't have anything for you." He goes, "What? You said you would give me the fruit." And he goes, "Father, really today we tried, but we just couldn't. We have all these orders, and we don't have any extra today." And he goes, "You get me the order." So then the guy goes, "Okay, okay, Father, hold on. I'll go check again." So then he went into the next room, and then you hear this crash, boom, bow, boom, crash, boom. The guy just pulled the things and let them crash on the floor. So they're all over the place. And he goes, "Okay, Father, I'll get some boxes for you. These are spoiled. Yeah, spoiled, nothing. Great stuff." But that's the way he was. He was a saint, really, Father Mazuero. And years later, I was doing a show for the inauguration of a beautiful theater in Watsonville. Watsonville, okay, but beautiful theater, 800 seater. Eastwood was invited as the guest of honor, and he gave a talk, okay. And then after that, we were invited to this beautiful ancient mansion in the middle of Watsonville. There, a nice place, and they had a little reception, and Clint Eastwood was there, and he's very shy. So he started walking out the side door, and I followed him. Clint, and he goes, "Yes, Father." And he goes, "Remember Father Mother?" "Oh, Father, of course I do. How is he doing?" I said, "Well, he's dying." Oh, I have to tell these people that I can't talk to him. I'm on the line. I'm on the line. I'll have to call you later, okay, Martin? Estoy ahorita en la televisión.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay, bye bye. Sorry, everybody. I should have turned it off. But he's a close friend of mine, so he helps us a lot, especially uh, with the church and then Sunday masses and everything. Okay, so then Clinton, he was so sad because I told him that he was dying, and he was at that time, and you could see Clint Eastwood. What a good man he is, and he was really deeply, sincerely interested in Father Mazuero. So anyway, that's my little Mazuero story, and let's continue with my little story to make you happier. I hope. So my little story is about this little boy, and I know I've told you this before, but I like this. This is my favorite joke ever and ever. Excuse me. This little boy is only 8 years old, and he is a holy terror. Since he was in pre-kindergarten, he pre-K, he was just they couldn't take him in school. They were almost going to kick him out until the mom really got down on the little kid and said, "You better be a good little boy and behave." He used to go in there and grab the girl's hair and rip it, and then he used to go there and get paint and throw it on the little kids. And nobody really liked him. And when he was at home, he didn't like his brothers and sisters at all. He would be taking their toys and breaking them, just mischievous, but really malicious little guy. And the mom, she was driving her crazy, and the dad was just about ready to, I guess, put him up for auction. So at one point, he was looking at a magazine, and he saw this beautiful, shiny red bike, and he always wanted to have a bike. And he goes, "Mom, look, it doesn't cost a lot. Mom, I want it." And he goes, "No. First of all, because you don't behave with us, you don't behave at school, you don't behave with your little brother and sister, you don't treat them nicely, and everybody in the neighborhood thinks you're a bad little boy." And he goes, "Oh," he starts crying. So then she, being a good Christian mother, says, "Okay, son, look, go into your little room, take out a sheet of paper and a pen, and write a letter to God. Maybe He will help you." She was inspired, okay? So then he goes, "Okay." So he goes into his room, on his little desk, gets a little pen, gets a piece of paper there, and he starts writing, "Dear God, I am a good little boy. I would like that red bike. Please give it to me." And he signs it, you know who. So then he looks at it and he goes, "Uh-uh." He tears it apart, throws it in the trash. Another letter. "Dear God, sometimes I am good, sometimes I am bad. Just get me that bike, all right?" Signs it, throws it away. Then he goes, "Dear God, I am not a good kid. I'm bad. You know it. but just get me the bike, please. And then he puts signs it, and he goes, throws it away. He goes, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So then he says, I know what I'm going to do. So he goes into his little closet, gets his little coat, and it's cold outside. It's coming winter. So he's got his little overcoat, and he goes to his mom, says, Mom, I want to go to church. And she, in her mind, it lights up. Oh, he's going to change finally. Oh, dear God. So he goes, yes, let's go. She goes, I want to go by myself. But you're only 8 years old. You can't, it's across the street. He goes, Mom, just watch me through the window. Come on. So she goes, oh, okay. So then he goes out the door, goes across the street carefully, goes up the stairs of the church, goes into the church, looks around, looks around, looks around, looks around, finds a little statue of the Virgin Mary about this big, sticks it into his coat, make sure it's not showing. He runs back home. He passes his mom. Hi, Mom, I'm back. Oh, good. He goes to his room. He takes out a sheet of paper. He takes out his pen. Dear God, I got your mom. If you ever want to see her again, you get me that bike. Signed, you know who. Okay. Did you like that story? Oh, now she puts, I remember. Thank you. After she put down, I don't remember. Hi, Dora. Okay, so, yeah, I've been really fortunate in my life, really, really fortunate. I mean, I don't deserve it, really. I have so many friends like you all, and you sit here and listen to me blab all the time because you're not asking me questions, and I beg you. Oh, I don't believe it. Somebody asked a question. Okay. Why is it a woman can't receive Holy Communion when she's with a divorced husband? And how she go to heaven if she died before her husband? Number one, that's a great question. Everybody clap. Finally, in the English period of this program, which I call a Salesian with Don Bosco, no, an hour with a Salesian of Don Bosco. First time in the English sector, we have gotten a question. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Consortia Canade. Oops, no last names. Okay, why is it a woman? Neither can a man, so don't leave the men out. They can't receive Holy Communion when she's with a divorced husband. And how is she going to go to heaven if she died before her husband? Okay, because she's with a divorced husband doesn't mean that she is in sin. Now, that's probably going to make you guys all go, what? But that's a very, 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 you have to really explain it. And I don't think I have the time because it's more important than prayer right now. And this is prayer because prayer is sharing God's gifts and his laws and his commandments and his love, everything together because it's laws of love. Okay. This is the way I'm going to explain it, but please pay attention and don't quote me because you're going to get me in trouble. Well, you can quote me, but don't quote me unless you really understand what I'm saying. Okay. And I will continue saying this all through this week. Well, it's already the end of the week and next week. Okay. The pastor can give that couple permission to go to communion. The pastor only, not the associate pastor, not the if in his mind he realizes that the first marriage was not a marriage, but that has to be annulled, the marriage. But when they're going through the process, and it's almost like, I mean, this is ridiculous. The woman was married to her first husband for a month. She was 16 years old and he was 19. You think that they understood what marriage is all about? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. There was no marriage there unless they were really mature and they really know what they wanted, and they had to say this in their minds or, well, to each other: I love you forever. We're not going to have whoopee do with anybody else except each other. We're not going to treat it sexually that way. Okay, we're always sexual people. Okay, but in that way, have sexual relations with anybody else, and we're going to have kids. If they say those four things, you could say they're married. You really could, because the priest doesn't marry you And those people that say, "Oh, it's just a document." Not the document doesn't marry you. Not a priest, not a rabbi, not the captain of a ship, not some tribesman in the middle of the South Seas. A priest. No, you marry each other. And when you say those things and you say, "I vow it," vow, not a promise. A promise means, "Hi, I'll meet you at the theater at 3 o'clock." She or he doesn't show up. Bye bye. The promise is broken. It's gone. Either one breaks a promise or both. Gone. A vow is different. I vow to meet you at the movie house. At what time? At 3. So you go, but the other person doesn't show up. You have to quit your job, put up a tent, have people bring you food, stay there until that person comes and sees you and comes back there. It's an exaggeration, but that's what a vow is. Ah, that doesn't stop. And neither does a blessing. That's why some people are married even before they go before the priest, because they had those 4 things in their mind, and forever. They really meant forever. Oh, it's hard to explain. In the old days, they didn't have priests or bishops. They knew themselves that they had that power because they're priests. Well, how are they going to be? They're not priests. Yes, they are through baptism. Every Christian, no matter what denomination he is, as long as they say those words, okay. I think I'm watching a rerun. Yeah, I think so too. But somebody asked that question, so you see that. So they're married. They're married. They're married. They're married. Now, what happens if they truly were married to begin with, a couple, and then one of them just decides, "Oh, I love somebody else now." And every time he has sex with that other woman, it's adultery. Whoa! But then, you know, how am I going to get to heaven? Well, the way that guy who killed, pillaged, raped, killed Romans, and he was next to Jesus, and Jesus, this is a repeat too. Jesus is there and he looks up at the sign. Is it Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews? And the guy goes, "Hey, listen, when you get to your kingdom, remember me." And Jesus doesn't turn around and says, "Are you divorced?" "Oh, you are. No, you can't go to heaven." "Are you still living with that woman?" "Well, you can't because you're hanging on the cross. So if you repent now," and he doesn't say that. He just says, "Today you will be with me in my kingdom." "But I'm not baptized." "Today I say to you, you will be. But I don't believe in you as my personal savior. Today you will be with me in paradise." But But see, it's a complex thing. I cannot explain it to you like that. I'll explain it to you little by little. But it takes a lot of explanation. So now you know that whatever condition you're in, remember, the only one who can forgive sins is God. So you go confession to God. You always do that first. Anyway, even if you're in front of a priest, you're confessing to the priest, but the one who's going to give you forgiveness is God because he's there too, and you're confessing to God. The priest is just there because Jesus was so smart that it took people here on earth about 1,800 years to figure out that you might need a psychologist, a psychiatrist with Freud and all of this stuff, okay? You might need somebody to help you out. Or even in ancient times, Aristotle and his little group of students, guiding them through life, being moral people, not Christian morality, but a good pagan human morality. So, yeah, it's complex. But remember, all these laws and everything, what's the main law? Love. Okay. There was a convent in France, okay, that was situated on a hill overlooking a city. The city was bombed, okay. All the buildings were nearly destroyed. There was no place to go, but the convent was left untouched. And all the sisters were there, and they had enough food for forever. And a lot of the people from town didn't have food, and they didn't have a place to stay. So they went up to the convent and said, "Sisters, can you let us in?" And the Mother Superior came in and says, "No, our laws say that we cannot admit anyone into the convent. Thank you, goodbye." Are you nuts? Laws disappear. Those type of laws disappear when there's a need. When there's a need. Like if you don't go to church on Sundays, it's a mortal sin. If your mother's ill, mom, I'm going to leave you here even if you die because you need somebody to be with you constantly because I have to go to mass. That's the law. Uh-uh. The law is love, and you take care of your mom, and that's a million times better than going to church. Okay? That's the way life is. That's the way life, and that's what Jesus was fighting for. Can you imagine you have a relationship with somebody else? I'm going to say it very unassuming so the little kids don't understand what we're talking about. But you're out there, doing something you shouldn't be doing with other people, not your husband, and you get caught. And this is now, okay? And it's not any of you because I know you guys are so holy, holier than me, of course. And so they take you to the middle of Los Angeles or San Francisco. They take you to a park in front of everybody. Your husband, your real husband, is there, and your kids are there, okay? Because you did something like that with another person, not your husband. And they dig a hole pretty deep, and they put you up to maybe your chest right here, and they put you inside, and they pile the dirt on you, and so you're from here, you're buried, and then your little son comes with a stone, and not a little one, and he throws it at your head, and it bounces off, and then cracks your skull. Then your older son comes in and throws another rock at you, and then your husband, your real husband, your real husband. Their husband comes in and throws another rock, and then everybody starts throwing rocks at you until you're dead. Now that was the law in Judea at the time of Jesus, and these people they wanted to make Jesus look bad. So if he said no, you can't do it, then he'd be going against the law. Don't kill her now. But if he said, well, kill her, then they say, oh Jesus, you heal people, and you're saying so people wouldn't like anymore. That's what they it was a dead end thing. You couldn't, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Okay, and that's what the saints are. Don't quote me. And so Jesus says, you know what? That's that's not the law my father really wanted. Yeah, it's in the Bible, but that's because you guys don't understand other things like love. You don't understand that. How could you tell barbarians anything about what love is? You have to have these really tough laws. Okay, but it shouldn't be like that. My father doesn't like that. So if you have no sin, go ahead, throw the first stone. And they kind of knew that he might be able to read their minds because he's such a miraculous man, I guess. So they just, oops, I've done that too. So I'm just going to leave my little rock here, and nobody. They all left. And Jesus says, "Is anybody around?" That's Jesus had a good sense of humor, and he goes, I don't see anybody around here anymore. And he goes, no. He goes, okay, now listen, go and sin no more. Now he's just telling her, go and sin no more, but he understands we're humans, and she probably was. If she sinned again, that doesn't mean sin no more. So if you sin no more, you're going to go to hell. No, he just said, as best as you can right now, you're not going to do it again. Okay, because that's when we go to confession. That's what we need to say, that I'm not going to do it again. If you tell the priest that you're going to do it again, he won't give you absolution. He can't. You're making a mockery. You're laughing at the sacrament. Like little kids coming, I stole some candy from the store. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you came and confessed it. And what are you going to do tomorrow? I'm going to go to the other store and steal candy. Okay, sweetheart, you can't be forgiven. I mean, God forgives you, but you're making a mockery of God's love. And so I cannot give you absolution. Oh, okay, Father, I promise I won't do it again. Really? Really? And once he says that, you take him by his word and you give him absolution. Oh, so complex living here like that. Hi, Michael Pomo. Michael Pomo is a genius. He's a doctor, and he gives his time all over the world for the poor especially. But he's a very fine doctor, and he was interested in our society, weren't you? Yeah, but you have a great vocation. And John Marin, are you really the John Marin that I'm thinking of, John Marin? And a very nice fellow. And Ana Luna, I know your sisters. They're twins. Okay, the cutest little things you can see. And Mark, happy feast day today. I keep on telling you that. Mark's mom was our cook when I was at Salesian as a brother. Well, as a cleric, that means you're a brother, but not you're in transition to be a priest. I like the way the Jesuits call their brothers. They call them misters, Mister this, Mister that. That's nice. We still with brother because we have brothers who are the. If we don't have brothers in the Salesian society, Don Bosco would say it's not my work. Brothers are religious, like secular religious. They take vows, very tough vows, but they don't celebrate the sacraments. They do in their lives, but not like we do as presiders. No, they're not interested in that type of ministry. They can go places where we would never go with our collars. Although now, who wears their collar? But they saved our schools in Mexico in the 1920s and 30s, where the Cristero program, where the government was destroying the church, and they were killing nuns and priests and all that, and and uh, and yeah. So where was I? Where was I? You know what? I think I told you they did a study of my little memory, and it's down to 43%. And the doctor says the only reason you don't have Alzheimer's, Uncle Al, is because you're intelligent, kind of, So, but who cares if you're intelligent? When your mind goes, you won't know anything, and I won't know you anymore, which is kind of sad. But that's life. Hi, everybody. Okay, so yeah. So what were we talking about? My God, I forgot. Yeah. So Mark's mom was our cook, and she was an excellent cook, a very wonderful woman. And I was happy to be there when she was transitioning, going to her real true home, heaven, where she's going to live for all eternity. Hi, Ruth. Ruth is ruthless when she plays that game with me. We play a type of a Scrabble game, and yeah. So yeah, I like to play that Scrabble game. I don't know what you call it. It's fun. Okay. It's already 4 o'clock. What am I talking so much for? I'll see you then um, tomorrow. I hope you're enjoying this because if you're not, I feel sad. And please, about that divorce thing, you really have to talk to a priest. So call me. But we'll see you soon. God bless you. Goodbye, Wilma. And we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll make it more exciting because I was a little tired. I don't know why. Bye bye. Well, it's a weekend. Ooh, party. Okay. Bye bye. I'll pray for you all. Pray for me.